Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. My name is Mark Ingram. I serve as the Director of Athletics here at UAB. Proud to have you with us here in the football operations building. I hope you've had a chance to look around at previous practices or other events. You know, this is a stunning facility that we're very proud of. We're also very proud to formally announce our partnership today with the Slive Foundation for Prostate Cancer Research. This is both beneficial to UAB Athletics, certainly our football program, and that great organization. We have several members who are going to join us today and speak to you that I'd like to introduce. Our president, Dr. Ray Watts, Anna Slive Harwood, Tommy Brigham, and Coach Bill Clark. So if you would, after they speak, we'll open the floor for questions. But we'd like to begin with our president, Dr. Ray Watts.
Well, we're very excited about this continued partnership between Blazer Athletics and the Slive Foundation for Prostate Cancer Research. This is a great opportunity to tie excellence in athletics with funding for leading-edge cancer research for the most common cancer in men. About 1 in 7 men will have prostate cancer during their lives. It's a win-win for UAB, the Slive Foundation, and certainly our community and the patients that we care for here in our Comprehensive Cancer Center. We're deeply grateful to Mike Slive, who passed away last May. Mike was a Birmingham resident and a great fan to UAB, and he was loved by his family and everybody who knew him. He was the kind of person that people wanted to be around because he was a positive force for good. Honorable man, and someone who is greatly missed, I know, by his family and certainly by us in our community. He became a strong advocate for research in prostate cancer, and he shared our passion for both cancer research and finding a cure, and certainly for athletics. He was a giant in collegiate athletics, having been the inaugural chair of the Conference USA and having been the outstanding leader of the Southeastern Conference Championship and conference as they emerged as the leading athletic conference in the United States. In the inaugural year, the Slive Foundation provided 3 $50,000 grants to our cancer center for cancer research in prostate area, and we're hoping that those will lead to more significant findings. Every new treatment for cancer has come from research. Every new treatment for the major diseases that we face come from research. Discovering new knowledge, understanding the molecular basis of cancer, of prostate cancer, other diseases, and designing new therapies which will change the course and work toward disease-modifying and curative therapies. Our cancer center is one of the great cancer centers in the country, and we're very grateful for the excellence that they represent. But they wouldn't be who they are, and we wouldn't be who we are as UAB without the great partnership with our community. I don't know of a more supportive community in the country than ours here in Birmingham. The UAB Athletics Foundation Board has pledged and raised $25,000 and are looking to have that as a challenge grant during our football game against Charlotte. I think that's our 3rd game, 4th, in September. We will announce this matching gift and present a check to the Comprehensive Cancer Center during halftime. Can't say enough about how much we appreciate Liz Slive and Anna and her family. And I know that her daughter was the sparkle in Mike's eye. Every time he spoke of her, he just beamed. And you may have seen that picture of him on the front page, either holding her hand or holding her in his arms. And I don't think there was much more special than her, and I know none more special than his family. So we're here today to celebrate his great life and to celebrate this partnership and to celebrate a great year for UAB football. I and we have very high expectations and can't wait to get started and show folks what they're going to do this year. So we're proud of them, proud of everybody here, proud of Mark Ingram, Coach Clark, and all of our athletics department who do such a fabulous job every day. And our athletes are not just good athletes, they're great scholars. They have among the highest grade point average in the country across all of our sports, over 3.1 average, with many of them in honor rolls and on the dean's list and on the president's list. So thank you for being with us today. We're excited about this announcement. And Mark, I'll let you lead us on.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Dr. Watts, thank you. As he indicated, we announced a similar partnership last winter with our basketball team over at Bartow Arena and had a successful inaugural event, and we were fortunate to have Mike with us and very proud and glad that we could have his daughter Anna here with us today. So if you would please welcome Anna Slive Harwood.
Thank you, Mark. Special thanks to Dr. Watts, to Tommy, Coach Clark, and the entire UAB athletic family. And also, I want to take a second to thank the media. It's a very important part of our work here, and you being here and helping us tell our story is really what's going to make the difference in us getting this story out there and our continued partnership out there. So on behalf of the Board of Directors for the Mike Slive Foundation, we are honored to be partnering with UAB football this fall. If my father were here today, he would tell you about his very long history with UAB athletics, going back to when he was the commissioner of the Great Midwest Conference, and how he invited Gene Bartow up to Chicago for a meeting, and that quickly led to UAB joining the Great Midwest Conference and then becoming Conference USA. That was the beginning of a very special relationship between the Slive family and UAB athletics, one that almost 30 years later is still going strong. When we launched the Mike Slive Foundation for prostate cancer research last fall, we knew that we had a very special opportunity to have the platform of intercollegiate athletics and use that to help fight for prostate cancer. Our ongoing partnership with UAB Athletics is a perfect example of this. Our mission is to save lives by funding cutting-edge research and raising awareness of prostate cancer. In the first 4 months of our existence, we raised, as Dr. Watts talked about, $150,000, which is now funding 3 separate prostate cancer research grants at the UAB Comprehensive Cancer Center. And the numbers around prostate cancer are sobering. A man dies of prostate cancer every 20 minutes. 1 in 7 men will get prostate cancer in their lifetime. Think about that in terms of the 100+ players and coaches on the UAB football team alone. And that's exactly why we're here today, to change these numbers and to help end prostate cancer. September, which is literally days away, is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. So we are really excited, as Dr. Watts alluded to announce today that starting September 1st, we are launching a 25-day challenge. We want to raise $25,000 in 25 days to match the very, very generous contribution from the UAB Athletics Foundation. And this is our chance to make a difference and be part of the end of prostate cancer. I'm doing this for my father. He was doing this for each of us because he used to say that he didn't want anyone to have to go through what he went through. Thanks.
Anna, thank you. As they indicated, Mike had become a friend to a lot of us, and thanks to Dr. Watts, a friend to me and to our department, and that continues to resonate with all of our staff here in UAB Athletics. As she indicated, and as Dr. Watts did, we're going to be highlighting this partnership again at the Charlotte game, which is our 4th game, our 3rd home game here on the 29th of September. So we're excited about that. Also, as she indicated, the UAB Athletics Foundation has made a pledge that I'll let our next speaker address, but we would like to challenge our community and match that. And I'd like to credit Tommy Brigham with his leadership in coming forward and saying this is important to marry not just athletics in the community, but to our cancer center here at UAB. And so if you would, welcome Mr. Tommy Brigham from the UAB Athletics Foundation.
Well, I'm not going to be redundant. Dr. Watts said it well, and Anna said it well, but I will say that cancer has been a huge part of our family. My grandfather died of prostate cancer. Both my parents died of cancer. Both were treated at UAB and with exceptional care. So it resonates with me, and it's very personal to me as well. The interesting thing is I got to know Mike several years ago as we began to talk about how do we make UAB football relevant. And his influence on just trying to frame the narrative for us was very important. And a part of what we did was through his influence on helping us strategically think about how do we make UAB football the #1 Group of 5 program in the nation. And you're seeing in this facility, you're seeing in the stadium that's going to be built downtown, a lot of the hard work and some of the influence he had with us as a foundation board. Well, through all of that, in our conversations over coffee in the morning and sometimes at lunch, we began talking about how could the UAB Athletic Foundation join forces with the Comprehensive Cancer Center through the Mike Slive Foundation to kill cancer, to defeat cancer. And through that, I said, well, why don't we just do a fundraiser during the football season, and I'll take the responsibility of trying to raise some money to match, to do a match with the community to see if we couldn't raise at least $50,000. So I raised the issue at the UAB Athletic Foundation board meeting, wrote a letter to the board, and I mean within 24 hours we had $25,000. So that's a real testimony to the UAB Athletic Foundation board, which is community members, trustees, and the administration alike, all of which have chipped in to make this possible. And I suspect that by the time we get to the September 29th UAB Charlotte football game, we'll be providing a check for $50,000 to the foundation. I hope it's more than that, frankly, and we're going to work to make that happen. I want to say that Mike's legacy and influence has been profound. It's going to live on through the Mike Slive Foundation, but it's in great hands with his daughter. She's a real champion, and she's going to bear a lot of fruit through the foundation for the greater good of our community and for the defeat of cancer long term. So I want to thank the Slive Foundation for allowing the UAB Athletic Foundation to be associated with the Mike Slive Foundation and the UAB Comprehensive Cancer Center, and challenge all of you in the audience to contribute as well. So I hope that you'll turn out for the game, go to the Mike Slive Foundation website, buy a ticket, support the Mike Slive Foundation as well as UAB football. Thanks.
Well said, Tommy. Thank you. You know, we're very proud here at UAB Athletics to say that we have 3 core values. That is to win championships, it's to graduate with honors, and to make a difference. Last year, our student athletes ranked 10th nationally, 10th in community service hours, and this is an extension of that. And our football team is a champion there and a leader there amongst all of our student athletes and other students, and that's because of the leadership they receive from our head football coach. And if you would please welcome Bill Clark.
Good afternoon, everybody. You know, we talk a lot, and I was just sitting there thinking, obviously, so many great things have just been said, and I don't want to repeat either, Tommy. But, you know, we talk about football being life and death. You know, sometimes it feels like life and death, and we treat it like life and death. This really is life and death. So just to get to partner up, we have a lot of charities we're part of. But when Tommy and I started talking about it, I had met Mike earlier, and you know, would we want to partner up with the Mike Slive Foundation? Of course, getting to meet Mike and Anna, and you know, Mark and I talked about it pretty quickly. We said, yes, of course, this is a no-brainer for us. And you know, I get to be a salesman for our university all the time. You know, Dr. Watts and I were discussing this the other day, where you're talking about cancer research or the great medicine, or us being the #1 young university in the country that came out not too long ago. So, these are things we talk about in recruiting, and it's really who we are. And I mean, you can look out this window at the growth that's going on our campus and the exciting things that are going on. But when you really talk about making a real difference in the lives of people, which is what's going on here at UAB, we just got so many great things going. So, Anna, thanks for thinking about us and letting us be part of this. It is our honor to get to be part of it. So, that's one of those things that, and I don't think there's enough can be said about just our fans, our local community, our athletic foundation. They're the reason we're back. So, Tommy, thank you again. Thanks to our foundation. And how long did that take to get that 25,000? Yeah, it was an amazing to be part of that email, just to see guys go, I'm in, and now we had reached that goal. So I have no doubt we're going to reach that 50,000 and more. So thanks to everybody sitting up here, and thank you for being here today. And we're excited to be part of it. UAB football is. Thank you.
Coach, thank you. And we now invite questions from the media for anyone here in the group.
Question for Dr. Watts. You're involved in many different aspects of the community. How has the return of UAB football changed the face of the university you've seen over the last few years?
Well, I think it is a very important part of the evolution of both our athletics department and our entire campus. And we have been in the midst of a strategic plan to make sure that we pursue excellence in every part of our mission. And I think you can see now that our athletics department and our football team are in a position to pursue excellence every day. We're in this wonderful facility. Every time I walk in it, there's a new enhancement and a new energy. And we have very high expectations for our student athletes. About all the community service hours, ours ranked 10th in the country in serving our community, because our community is so good to us. And certainly the partnership between the community and UAB and many of our constituents were what allowed us to be able to bring football back, which we wanted all along. But we wanted them to be in a position to have the resources to pursue excellence. And you saw last year that we did. And when I say we have high expectations this year, I'm not kidding. And I think that you'll see that on the field and on the win and loss column. But most importantly, I think with the spirit. You see up here some of the little words that they talk about. Own the ball, pursue excellence. Every day is important. Those are the kind of lessons that we learn not only in athletics, but receiving a great college education and preparing our young people for a future where they're going to help everyone else and help the world be a better place.
Mike was a huge advocate for UAB athletics, and we spoke often about what it would mean to get a new stadium for the team. Now that the new stadium is coming, how do you think that changes the trajectory of UAB athletics?
Well, that's a great topic, because that BJCC stadium and entire complex renovation was a partnership of every constituent in Birmingham. And it was the best example of our city leaders, our county leaders, our community, our business community, UAB and others working together to make sure that works. And the BJCC board and Tad Snyder as the executive director did a great job. And we all worked hard behind the scenes for the last 2 years probably. And coming together and see that be a reality is not just great for UAB football. We'll play 6, maybe more games there a year. But just think of how great it is for Birmingham, our community. And that's what this is all about. That's why everybody has worked together like never before in our understanding of Birmingham in the last 50 plus years.
University to take something as important as this and kind of advocate for it?
Well, I think collegiate athletics are a great attraction for those who love sport and who love competition and who love what athletics can do. And many of our student athletes might not be in college if they didn't have the opportunity to have a scholarship to play whatever sport they play, represent the university. But they really learn about integrity and values, character. So this new stadium is just gonna give us a beautiful platform, much like Regions Field has done here for baseball. It's gonna give us a world-class platform. There will not be a finer facility in the state than that whole new JCC complex. We're excited that the arena is gonna be rebuilt to the tune of $125 million. It's gonna be a beautiful, world-class new arena in the exhibit hall. That's just gonna transform that part of North Birmingham too. So many, many, many positive effects.
I would add that, having worked with Dr. Watts on the downtown project, he was really one of the leaders in trying to pull together all the constituents to make this happen. And without his leadership, we wouldn't have been there.
Mike really spoke fondly of you. What did you learn from him and y'all's relationship, and how important was he for the city and community of Birmingham?
Dr. Watts, before you answer that, can you please answer the questions at the podium?
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, I was fortunate to have a fairly long relationship during my tenure here with Mike. And I met Mike when he and Liz came to an Alzheimer's disease awareness dinner and fundraiser to raise funds for Alzheimer's research. And he was so modest, I didn't even know how awesome he was at that point. But it didn't take long reading the newspaper occasionally and seeing what he was doing leading the SEC. And so we built a friendship over time. And he was a great friend to our medical center as well, our hospital and our School of Medicine. And whenever he could, he did something good for us. And that's the way he was. And so I, in many discussions with him about football and about our athletics and about decisions that we had to make, had the good fortune to hear his wisdom in his favorite place, which is out on his back deck looking out over that, Appalachian Mountains in Vestavia. He said, "This is my favorite spot." And I could see why. And he was, as I said, he was an honorable, great man, and I don't think he ever met a stranger. And I love reading the little story that he would go to Salem's Diner for breakfast, and when they were busy, he'd get up and pour coffee for people, refill them, say hello to them, and that's the kind of man he was. And so, I'm not surprised at that. But, and I got the good fortune to know he and Liz through those activities, and then Anna and the whole family. And as I said, he couldn't be more proud of his family. And I think he's probably like me as I think about my life. And I've been asked sometimes, what's your greatest accomplishment? And I'll quickly say my family. And I think Mike would say the same thing, even though he obviously had a lot of other great accomplishments.
What do you think the potential for his legacy can be here with this foundation?
I think it's limitless. It's a great partnership, and I know how passionate he was. And as Tommy said and Mark said, it's great that Anna is leading the charge, because I know she does so with passion. My father also died of prostate cancer, and my wife's father died of prostate cancer. So it just shows you how common it is. Fortunately, they still had good, full lives, but they were terminated before they should have been. And the same is with Mike. But he fought through that battle valiantly and did exceedingly well. He really did. And I think with renewed energy and commitment after that to really doing something important to combat this, really the major cancer that faces men. All of us have a pretty high statistical probability of having it, and that's why it's so important to do this research.
Is that why you went into medical field?
It is. I loved science, and I loved learning. I wanted to do something where I could help people every day, and medicine became, for me, that great opportunity, and it's been wonderful. And, I think Mike, even though he was an attorney, and in intercollegiate athletics, he was also every day looking how he could do something for somebody, and I think that's what makes us all love him so much. Anyone else? Well, let me just say also thank you to the media for being here. This is very important to share with our community and to let them know the great things that are being done by the Mike Slive Foundation, by UAB Athletics, and UAB football. And we're very thankful to our Athletics Foundation. Many members are here today, and they couldn't be more supportive of us each and every day. And you can see that the campus continues to be transformed. We've got a new beach volleyball arena and contest here. We've got a new track and field complex coming up. We've got an expansion of our BBVA campus field so we can host the Birmingham Legion professional football, i.e. soccer. And Mark and them have some good play on words coming, I think, with that new stadium or with that partnership.
Do you have a prediction for football wins this year? American football? Do you have a prediction for close?
It's very high. And we're not shooting for the lower half.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We do have lunch for everybody in the back.